Guys, what's up? My name is Otoye Kelechi. If you're seeing this face for the first time, I'm a lawyer, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, and I'm a women's rights advocate. On this channel, we do vlogs, a lot of vlogs. We also talk about legal topics. We talk about, trending topics. We talk about issues that affect you and I and society at large. And today is no different. We're going to be talking about reproductive abuse. I had this video penned down a while ago to discuss because I went to the village, my village, and it's not the first time I'm seeing it, but it hit me so hard that a lot of the young girls there were all pregnant. Okay, a lot of them were pregnant. Some didn't have husbands, some were married, but this was like their third pregnancy in the fourth year. So they were getting pregnant back to back to back to back to back, and they had no resources or no support to care for these children, and they were dependent on the men, and they couldn't even leave the village, they couldn't leave the community because they had to stay and take care of the children. And if they did, they gave the children to their grandmothers to take care of while they went into the streets to hustle. And oftentimes that hustle meant man. Okay, the hustle is man or some kind of shady business just to make ends meet, and that's a form of abuse that we don't often talk about. So while I had this video penned down to do, I'd actually written my points and my scripts and all of that. I came across a post just yesterday that said, okay, it's time that we discuss this topic. It's time that we film this. It was on Instagram on one of these mommy blogs, Mom Confessions, and I'm going to read the story to you so you can get the general gist of the whole concept, and then we can discuss it in depth. Okay, so the story is, I got married in April 2018. My husband lost his job October 2018. A week after I conceived, he lost his job. Since then, we have been managing up till now, and my life personally changed. I have been sad since then up till now, and I can say I have just been happy from April 2018 to October 2018 that I conceived. He worked as a fleet manager in dash dash dash. I don't want to call the company. The company is popularly known. They own petrol and gas station in most states. I gave birth to twins. My mother-in-law showed me pepper. She won't help me, but always tell me that I keep working while my babies are sleeping and more. The sadness now multiplied. We won't even communicate to each other. So I guess the sadness between her and her partner with each other, only me and the kids. My husband have gone to do petty jobs. Even in the middle of the night, his mother won't help. This woman won't help. 3 months after I gave birth, I conceived again. Exactly 9 months, Taye fell sick. His dad took him to the general hospital. So Taye will most likely be one of the twins that she gave birth to in the beginning. His dad took him to the general hospital in Apapa. Then he called that the doctor said Taye is sickle cell. He is, how I know I am AS. Okay, just note that this person is just note that this person has some grammar issues. How I know I am AS, and I asked him before we got married. He said he was AA then. We got to rerun the test at Sickle Cell Foundation, and they confirmed that my husband is AS. I almost ran mad. I didn't expect that both twins would be SS, so both her children are SS. My mood got bad. I don't even want to see my husband around me and his mom. My sex life is 0. If my husband requested sex 20 times, I would just pity him and give him 1 time, and at times he forces me, and the end result is always pregnancy. So note that her husband forces her, she rejects his advances, but he forces her, and the end result is always pregnancy. After my second born, I conceived 3 months after. Presently, I have 5 children, and I'm pregnant again. So she's about to have 6 children. I can't tell people that I'm not sexually active. They will be like, and you keep getting pregnant. But the remaining children are AS and AA. It's only the twins that are but the remaining ones are AS and AAs. It's only the twins that are AS. Let me just note here that this woman realized that her husband is AS, yet they kept having children. Okay, so after the first mistake of the SS children, they kept having children, regardless of the fact that they now discovered that they were both AS and they could potentially have more SS children. Okay, I'm the one. Sorry, she said, no one to help with house chores, even neighbors. I'm the one taking care of 5 children. I'm not happy. Even the children, I beat them mercilessly. No motherly care. The 5th child is just 1 year, 2 months. I don't keep friends. No one to talk to. The only friend I have is in Ibadan, and I'm in Lagos. I don't go out. I love going out. But who am I Okay, so for whom am I? See, the English is just bear with me. Who am I going to meet as I don't have friends here? Most times I feel as if my head wants to turn. I know that I am not okay mentally. I went to psychiatric hospital Yaba where they asked series of questions. I pour out my mind and how my mother-in-law treated me and my husband, not really helping with house chores and lots more, and thought of killing myself. They wanted to admit me, but I couldn't stay because of money. She didn't have money to even get the help that she needed. And I like that she even recognized that she needed help, but she didn't have the finances to get the help that she needed. I did some tests, except for the counseling that I have not done. And they told my husband that I have severe depression. We are not happy with the way the children are as a parent. They have not started school yet, and what Nigeria is turning into. We have to borrow money so he can travel. That's her husband. He traveled to Kuwait to work as a driver close to 2 months now. Upon his arrival, they told him that it's rider that they need, not driver. He doesn't know how to ride. To come back to Nigeria is not easy. He is just there hoping all will be well. Since the beginning of this year, I've been feeling weak, no energy to do anything. I forget things easily. I can't put myself together to do things. Is depression that bad? She's asking. So guys, we've heard from this woman, we've heard her story, and it's quite heartbreaking. But the truth is that it is not uncommon. A lot of women don't realize or don't accept that they are being manipulated and abused by their partners or their husbands, okay? And they are abused through pregnancy. They are being trapped by pregnancy. Reproductive coercion simply means where a partner or a husband uses pregnancy and childbirth to trap their partner, their wife, for different reasons, for multiple reasons. It can be for financial abuse, it can be for cultural reasons, it could be for religious reasons, it could be for ignorance and so many other things. But the bottom line is that the woman is trapped, okay? The woman is being abused. She's caged because she cannot do any other thing apart from take care of the kids. So case in point, a woman is pregnant the first year and she has to take a break. Maternity tells you, it dictates that at some point she must take a break. Perhaps she was a petty trader in the beginning, and after a while she managed and managed and managed, then she got pregnant again. The next time you see her, she has delivered, then she gets pregnant again, okay? And then her business suffers because she still has to stay home and take care of the kids, and you keep on giving this woman pregnancy. She keeps on getting pregnant. There's no talk about family planning. There's no talk about spacing the children. There's no talk about her own health and the risk with getting pregnant consistently and consecutively. It's just like a normal thing, and we see that everywhere. There's a woman, I've showed her on this channel before, but I don't want to call her out. She's a petty trader. She used to sell plantain. When I moved to my area, I met her pregnant. I came to see her last month when I did one of my shopping videos, one of my vlogs, and she was carrying her fourth child. I've been 6 years in marriage, okay? So this woman has been pregnant at least 5 times, 4 or 5 times in the last 5 years. Does that make sense to you? And she's a petty trader. And the worst part is that she's carrying all the children with her. She can't even effectively do her business or take care of her children because she's literally, as she's turning her eye like this, she's looking at this child, she's trying to feed this child, the other child is running away, and other traders are trying to help her hold the child, and all of those things. So her case is even better because she's even still trying to earn for herself, right, while she's carrying all these children. But some people are in worse and dire situations because they cannot earn, they can't live, they can't do anything. They are literally stuck where they are because they are burdened with children. And some men do that deliberately to abuse their children, abuse their wife, and to trap them and leave them dependent on them. So let's talk about this very well. Let's talk about this scenario that we just read about. So this woman, she is, whatever she's doing, I don't know what her job is, but you could tell that one of the effects of this continuous pregnancy on her is depression and mental health issues. Reproductive coercion it doesn't just affect a woman physically, it affects her mental health. The story is that, imagine, I have 2 kids, and some days I feel like I'm losing my mind. So imagine having 6. And two of them are in critical condition because they are now sickle cell patients. If you don't know what sickle cell is, I'm sure we've talked about, you've heard about it, but it's a genetic disorder or disease that affects a lot of children that cannot be avoided if parents do testing, adequate testing before they get married and discover the genes that may cause sickle cell, in their children. That's AS, and then there's AC and C and the other kinds of combinations that can result in children having the sickle cell trait or the sickle cell disease. Okay, now this woman, unfortunately, she found out after she had her kids, the first kids, the twins, that she was her husband is also a carrier of the sickle cell gene, yet she kept having children. So there's a form of ignorance there. But then the continuous nature of having children, coupled with the fact that she did not have support for those children, coupled with the fact also that her mother-in-law was, probably mean to her in several ways. She only touched on that. And her husband is absent because he lost his job and he's trying to do petty jobs here and there to take care of the home, to make ends meet. So he's not present. So she's left alone with how many children to take care of with minimal support and minimal finances. Okay, because it's obvious that there are financial issues here as well. For him to be able to travel, he has to make money somehow, and then she has to borrow. The children are not even in school, so of course this is affecting her mental health. So we can see that one of the impacts of reproductive coercion is the mental health of a mother. And the fact is that she talked about the fact that she couldn't even continue to pay for treatment after recognizing that she needed help. So this is a complex kind of abuse, a complex kind of coercion. And why does this happen? Why does it exist? Part of it, like we said in the beginning, is cultural context. Some African cultures, Nigerian cultures, believe that the primary role of a woman is reproduction, bear forth children. You see women being stigmatized because they can't have male children. You see women being brutalized by their family members or threatened that, they will bring a second or third wife into the home because the wife is not able to have male children or she cannot have children. And so she goes on to try to do her best to secure a male child. So she has one child, 2 children, 3 children, 4 children, they're all girls, and she's still trying. She still insisted that, I must get a male child so I'm not replaced. Her value is tied to the fact that she can produce an heir for her husband. Okay, if that makes any sense. So let's talk about this cultural context. It's one of the reasons why women are trapped in this kind of situation. Imagine having children back to back to back because you want to try to prove your worth, you want to try to prove that you are woman enough, and yet the effect of taking care of the children is left on you. So even though you have 5 children and then you end up getting 1 boy, which is the 6th child, you still left to take care of the children. And this affects your, apart from mental health that we just discussed, it affects your social life. And this woman talked about it in her video, like her post rather. Her post is a prime example of what this does, because she no longer has any friends. I'm sure when she was going through what she was going through, it's even obvious that she moved from her hometown Ibadan to, I believe, Lagos. So that isolation is already there. And then having children back to back is also isolation. And then obviously the comments from people, you just they born, you just they carry belly up and down, you just they do this, you just they do that, it's also there, and so that's also affecting her. So her social life is affected. Then her physical health as well. We know studies have shown that there's a high mortality rate for women, especially African Nigerian women, when it comes to childbearing. Okay, and you keep having children, we keep having children, so the risk of dying is excessive. It is large, it's a lot, right? But yes, we are still here, yet we are still trapped in this thing. You can't do anything, you can't get a job, because a lot of jobs even discriminate. Let me just tell you the fact. Even though there's the anti-discrimination laws, you're not supposed to discriminate based on the sex or gender of your employee and things like that. A lot of companies still discriminate. They even ask you, are you pregnant? Are you married? Are you going to be pregnant in the next 1 year? Just so that they can avoid the fact that you will take maternity leave and you will not work and you will not show up. Sometimes even when you have a job, you can't meet up with the demands of the job, your deliverables, because you are having children back to. Imagine, like she talked about, let me even go back to that original post. She talked about the ages of her children, and she said the twins are 5 years 4 months, the second one is 4 years 5 months, the third one is 3 years 5 months, the last one is 1 year 2 months, and then she's pregnant again. Do you understand it? So in the past 5-6 years, she has been pregnant every single year. That cannot be healthy for anybody. It cannot work for anybody. It cannot be normal for anybody. So of course it's going to affect her. And then obviously this means the fact that she's like in this state means that she's continuously dependent on her husband. And imagine the pressure in her own dynamic, right? Where her husband is even barely making ends meet. Okay. So imagine that pressure on him and her and what it's doing to their marriage, to their existence, to everything. It's not a good look. There's nothing appealing about this type of situation. And the husband is aware and he seems to be maybe a little bit more educated than she is. And till now, they are not still talking about any form of family planning. And that brings me to another point. Some countries, some communities, some cultures don't believe in family planning. Some religions don't believe in family planning. They don't believe in, IUDs and condoms and things like that. They believe, okay, if you want to do any form of family planning, it has to be natural, meaning that you'll be counting your cycle and you'll be doing those kinds of things. Some people don't even believe it at all. Sometimes people don't even have enough awareness of what family planning is. I did my second immunization for my daughter in a primary healthcare center, so that's a public health center, and I love the fact that after every lesson, every antenatal, everything, because he did antenatal with the immunization mummies and all of that, they will talk about family planning. They will advise you on family planning. But it was not common before. A lot of people didn't know about it. But they would advise, and some NGOs, some governmental organizations, even the government, they were sharing free condoms, sharing what's that thing? There are different forms of contraceptives that they were sharing and talking about it, emergency pills and things like that. They all talked about it. So we are seeing that more and more. But there are some people that don't even have access to that. Some people don't have the knowledge of that. They don't have they are ignorant, right, to the devices of ignorant to contraceptives. Okay, so that is one of the reasons why this thing is very prevalent, and they are averse to it because people feel that all contraceptives sometimes have negative effects. Okay, IUDs cause some type of issues, copper wires and things like that, so they just decide that they're not going to do anything at all, but then they keep having children. What is the repercussion of having those children? We are seeing it right now. One of the effects of this thing, like I said in earlier, is the social isolation. Okay, and that's what leads to depression and leads to all the further complications. It's not easy to have children and you have to carry them up and down. Sometimes you don't even bother. When I think about how I have to bundle my kids and maybe take them, if I don't have any, my nanny, maybe she goes on her break or she travels or something, and it's just me, maybe my husband is working and I have to carry my kids everywhere. When I think about all of that, sometimes I'm just like, let's stay at home, whatever we need, we'll do it at home or something like that. Imagine not having that support system. Imagine not having a way to, okay, I can keep my kids in creche, or I can, take them to school, I can do whatever I need to do. I'm stuck with them, okay? And it means that I can't even make friends. I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. That kind of stuff affects your mind, affects your movement, affects your physical health, affects a lot of things. So now we are talking about this reproductive abuse, but the truth is that, is it a deliberate act or is it ignorance alone? Let me tell you the truth. Sometimes, and a lot of the time, it's deliberate, okay? It is a deliberate act of abuse. It's a deliberate way of a man securing the bag, securing the fact that his wife will always be at home, securing the fact that this woman will not have any other prospects. She can't go out, she can't do anything. A lot of men know. They know the effects of pregnancy, they know what they are doing, and they keep trapping you there. This entire week and weekend, we have been seeing the Bella Nigeria campaign about, I put the whole hashtag here, but basically women earning their own, women having their own source of income, women being able to rely on themselves, okay, women able to be financially independent. It's going to be very, very difficult for any woman that has 6 children to have financial independence, unless she's freaking wealthy. Okay, and if she's even freaking wealthy, it might not even be her that is freaking wealthy. It's probably the husband that is freaking wealthy, and then it's trickling down to her. But if she's wealthy, she's able to secure nannies, she's able to secure chefs, she's able to secure good schools for her kids, then she can function. But a lot of the times, children start for career growth, they start for economic growth, they start for any prospects that you have, and you remain trapped and you lose all form of financial freedom and independence. And that is the God honest truth. That is the gospel truth. So while we are talking about financial independence, we have to realize that one of the reasons why women don't have financial independence and cannot access funds the way they would like to is because of children and because of this form of abuse. I talked about the fact that I went home, and I've talked about it several times, that I go home to the village and I see that my cousins or distant relatives are pregnant. And I'm like, wait, is this still the pregnancy I saw the last time I came? No, I don't born. This is another one. Okay. So they keep having children, keep getting pregnant and getting pregnant and getting pregnant. And what is the result of this continuous pregnancy is that they're home, okay? They're at home, they can't work, they can't do anything, they can't go to school. A lot of them are young teenagers, they can't finish their education, they can't do anything like that. You know, there's some cultures that tell you, oh, you don't need to get married, just come and live with a man and keep having children. Okay, this is what rural form of this abuse is that you have children for this man without any marital commitment, no bride price is paid, nothing is paid. Okay, you don't go to court to do registry marriage, you're just in a man's house, you keep giving birth to children, and one day he can kick you out and you have nothing. You have absolutely no claim to his finances, no claim to anything, because you are not his wife. Okay, these some men trap women in that way. They say, oh, don't worry, I'll pay something on your head, I'll pay something on your head. Maybe they will go and give the father a drink and say, okay, this your daughter is in my house, or something like that. But then there's no commitment, there's nothing there. So she remains in that state. Okay, even if she's trying to work and do things, she has no real connection to that man, and her children grow up being quote unquote bastards, because the man can decide, okay, I don't have anything to do with you, I don't marry your mother, you're not legitimate children of mine, and goes somewhere and marries somebody else, or goes and picks another girl and does the same thing with. I traveled to Opobo sometime this year, early this year, and that was the complaint of many women. They were all talking about it. That a lot of men are taking their daughters, keeping them at home without any marital commitment, without anything like that. So that is another example of this form of abuse. But more than that, though, sometimes it is not even consensual. Okay, let's talk about the fact that this woman was being raped. She said it that he forces her. She knows that she doesn't want to get pregnant again. She knows that she's severely depressed and going through what she's doing, but yet this man sometimes forces her. So there's an element of rape, there's an element of sexual assault, and it is prevalent. It's not just in her case. When I talk about going home and seeing these young girls getting pregnant, when you ask, sometimes they're like, oh, that man is the one that did it. He did it well, but I know one time, but he just say. A lot of force, there's a lot of rape, there's a lot of abuse that goes on that traps these young women and girls in this cycle of just having children, fatherless children, because most of the time the fathers are not even in the picture. Even if they are in the house, they're not in the picture to take care of the children. So we just keep having these children that end up becoming problems in society, because when you cannot give children a firm foundation, the result is chaotic. So what is the solution to all of this? I'll put some demographics in the description box of what the UN Women has said, how, you know, other agencies have talked about the effects of financial abuse, effects of reproductive abuse, the effects of, you know, this form of abuse on women, of violence on women, violence against women, and how it affects society and the economy at large. I'll put on information in the description box. So what is the solution to a problem like this? I think the solution is conversations like this, more awareness. Let women know that you might be manipulated and you're not even aware of it. Well, I want to have my children early. I want to have them back to back to back to back to back. Okay, you have them back to back to back to back to back, and you have 5 children back to back to back to back to back, and you're struggling to make ends meet, struggling to achieve any kind of goal. In fact, you completely abandon all your goals and your dreams and aspirations because it's not making sense. How do you raise 5 children and still take after yourself, look after yourself? So the solution to me is more conversations, more awareness, you know, going into the streets, going into the creeks to tell women that having children, 5 children, is not a flex. Okay, it's not a flex. If you can take care of them, fine. If it's a conscious decision of yours that you want to have a big family, fine. Okay, that is all well and good. But if it's a situation where you just keep getting pregnant, you don't know, like your plans are out of the window, that you find that your partner is deliberately getting you pregnant, they are forcing pregnancies on you, they tell you, if you want to, you know, say you want family planning, your partner says no, he doesn't believe in family planning, he doesn't want you to get any form of family planning, blah 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 blah, and all of that stuff. You might be manipulated, you are probably being abused and you're not aware. So we need to have more conversations like this, take it to the streets, talk to NGOs and governments that contraceptives should be free, they should be accessible to everybody, family planning methods should not be expensive, it should be accessible to everybody, so that, you know, you can go about your way, you can do your thing and be free. Okay, I hope this video was quite helpful. What do you think about this? Have you experienced this? Have you thought about this? Have you even realized that this form of abuse exists and it is actually kind of abuse. It's a form of abuse. Do you understand? Because sometimes when you talk about it, people don't know. You just keep burning. They burn it, they burn it, they go, and they don't realize that they've been abused. Has it been helpful? If it has, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Okay, let me know your thoughts in the comments to this topic. Share this video with your friends, share it with somebody. It will be helpful to somebody, and and I'll see you in my next one. Okay.